So this video we're going to go through how to hack a wireless network. So I've created a tutorial for this, a written tutorial. This video will basically just be the same tutorial, just in a video format. So let's start. And I can also mention, if you're doing this from home, you will not have the dashboard and everything available as I do now, but the same technique will work in the same way regardless of what wireless network you are on. As long as it is like a WPA2, this technique will work. If it's WPA3 or WEP, it will not work. But anyways, we will start by putting the adapter in promiscuous mode, or what is often called monitoring mode. This will allow us to inject packets into the wireless network. So instead of having to connect to a wireless network in order to read packets and inject packets, we can actually put this adapter in what is called monitoring mode and inject packets directly without connecting to the wireless networks. So the way we do this is that we start by doing airmon. Oh yeah, I also recommend actually doing sudo su. That way you don't have to type sudo all the time. It can be quite annoying. So we will start by doing airmon ng check kill. Now I did not have any like services running in the background, but you probably will get like 2 services exited or something. Then we will do IP link set, and then we will have to choose the interface. So as we saw earlier, my interface is named VLAN 0. That's the wireless adapter that I've connected. So I would do IP link set VLAN 0 down to disabling that interface, and now I will do IV dev VLAN 0 set type monitor. So I'm putting the adapter itself into monitoring mode. Will take a few seconds. And then we will do this again, and we can see that you still have the LAN interface right there, VLAN 0, which is correct. Now let's continue. So let's start to figure out what network we will connect to. So if we do aru dump minus ng and then VLAN 0, we are now telling the adapter to just listen to all the wireless networks it can find. So since I'm at Noroff, it's able to find a lot of different Noroff addresses. This is because we have multiple access points in the roofs, but it was able to also find this. So as you probably have stated in the beginning, you're only allowed to do this on authenticated networks. So on networks that you have explicit permission from the owner to do this. I do not have explicit permission on any of these networks, on the Noroff networks. I'm going to do it on any of them, not this Nitgear network. But I have given myself permission to do it on the network called HackMe Noroff. Now, so I'm going to hack into this network. So there's a couple of things I need to make note of. So the first thing, let's just use Notepad. So the first thing will be the BSSID. So after I've identified the network I want to log on to, I'll do Control C. So this network, so I will just copy all of this and paste it into Notepad. Okay, this looks kind of like a mess, so I'm just going to extract the exact information I need. So I need the BSSID and the channel. Those are only 2 values I need. It can also be handy to have the SSID. So let's start by copying this and then do the channel. It's 9, so I'll just write that down. And then the BSSID, which is this one. What I need to do now is to listen explicitly on this network. So on the previous command, this one, I told my adapter to just listen to absolutely everything, listen to all the channels, all the networks, and just find as much information as possible. Now if I use a, let's see if I go with this, error dump NG again, so it's basically the same scanner, but let's see, I will start by specifying a channel I want to listen on, which is 9, since this is the channel we made note of, so channel 9, then the BSSID, and we will copy paste this, paste it in, and then we will need a -W, so this will be the output file. So I'm calling it handshake. You can basically call it whatever you want to. I'm actually going to call it handshake underscore file, and then the adapter again, so VLAN 0, which was my adapter. Enter. So it's now actually constantly listening specifically on that network for handshakes. And the way we actually capture handshakes is by listening on the network for authentication sessions. So whenever you are logged on to a wireless network and you have stored the password, so that, for example, you have clicked on log in automatically, then once the machine is disconnected and you get back home, for example, you know that your phone or your computer or whatever is going to automatically connect back to the wireless access point. So what we are going to do, we are actually going to send a de-authentication packet to one of the connected machines. So this is one of the machines that are connected to the wireless network. We're going to send something called a de-authentication packet to this machine. So that makes it so that the machine is disconnected, and once it's able to connect again, it's going to reconnect, and then it's going to send the handshake or perform the handshake with the access point. And when that handshake is performed, we're going to steal the handshake and then crack it later. So the way we do this is by writing the following. So air replay slash -ng -0 10. Now we tell it to send 10 de-authentication packets. -A for access point, and we will again just copy paste this, paste, and then we will do the interface, so VLAN 0. So when I click enter, it's going to send the packets. Oh, operation not permitted. Of course, I need to have sudo. I'll just do sudo like this. This is just one command. Okay, so I'm now sending, as you can see, 10 de-authentication packets. It's very important that you only send 10, or you can send more than 10, but as long as this device is sending these de-authentication packets, no one is going to be able to connect to that access point. But after these were sent, we can see that we have captured a handshake. That is because this device got kicked off, and once the authentication stopped, it tried to re-authenticate or re-authenticated against the access point, and then we stole the handshake. So you can see this. Now we can just Control C this or exit it, and you will see that there's a handshake file.cap file. if you do this process multiple times, so I'm going to start it again and send new authentication packets. And we will just look for captured handshake. Like, it might take a few seconds. But it should, in theory, come back up. Okay, there we got it again. So, captured handshake, Control C. I now have multiple of these, so I have like O1 and O2. Always use the newest one. So I will use handshake underscore file dash 2. So let's crack the password. So it's quite simple. All you have to do is to use AirCrack. So you could use the other applications for this, like Hashcat and others, but since our word lists aren't that long, we'll just use AirCrack. So AirCrack ng minus A2, the same, oh, uses ID as earlier. This earlier, and then we will point it to a word list, so as you can see it then. So we could basically use any word list, but I know the RockU word list is very good against the passwords that are used on this network. So we'll just use the RockU word list. So it's stored right there. User share word list and rocku.txt. If you're using a fresh install of Kali, this will be compressed or archived, that RockU list. So you'll need to decompress it, but you can just Google how to do it, and it's quite simple. Now we need to point it to the handshake I mentioned earlier. So handshake file, and then you can see we can choose multiple. We will obviously do 2.cap. It's the highest one. And now we just need to wait for an unknown amount of minutes. Oh, there we go. So it found the password were lightning. Okay, cool. So what I now need to do is to connect to the wireless network. So I will just get everything up and running, and then I'll do that. Yeah, so I just had to change my main display to show you the login, Wi-Fi login thing. So we will choose the Hackme Noroth Day, and then use the password lightning. I think that's correct. Yeah. And connect to it. So what will happen now is that we should, in theory, be sent directly to a capture portal. Let's see. It doesn't always work. It should work in Windows, but let's see. Unable to connect. Okay. Let's try again. Oh. I've written it in the wrong way. So I'm automatically sent to this page now. If you follow the written guide, I'm just using the phone. You can do that on the phone as well, but you will have to write. It's possible you will have to write 192.168.1.1 in the URL field. And once that is done, I can type my name, Carl, sure. And now the access point is going to restart and create a new network with a new password. And your name should now be available on the dashboard. So if I reconnect, we can actually, if I do, yeah, so you can now see the user Carl, the network, and the password. So I think that's that's it. If you have any questions, send me a message on Discord or ask your local teacher.